All right, we are back for the next episode of Beyond the Skills podcast, where we talk everything entrepreneurship, business, real estate, sex, drugs, rock and roll. And today I got two rock star real estate investors for you guys, straight out of Houston, Texas. These guys are the real deal. I'm pumped to have you guys, Mr. Derek and Mr. Tor. Pumped to have you guys here, man. You know, we were talking, when you meet somebody that's real and they're doing business and they're a real operator, you can just feel it, So I'm pumped to have you guys on to, give value to the audience and kind of talk about y'all's back journey, where y'all come from, how y'all came up, what your business looks like now, what y'all have created, and then give some value to the audience to help them have the same results as you guys. So, Derek, I'll start off with you. Who is Derek Kelly?
So, Derek Kelly was born and raised in Baytown, Texas. I still reside there today. I love Baytown. A lot of people don't really like the area like that, or they have a negative thing towards it, but Baytown's who made me. So that's what was creating me. That's my roots. That's where I'm at. I like investing in there. I know the area is very, very well that's over there.
Just for people that don't know where Baytown is exactly, that's by Houston. How far away is that from Houston?
It's about 25, 30 minutes away from Houston. So it's not that far away. It's got about 100,000 people that's
East
there.
side.
Yeah. Okay. But I basically, right when I graduated high school, I went straight into the chemical plants. So I went straight into chemical plants, done everything from rail car maintenance to shipping, receiving. I was done operations, where I was working outside operator, went to a DCS board operator, went to a trainer, and basically was working day shift there for about 9 years. That total of 17 years that I was in the plants, continuous. Knowing that I wanted more. So, I knew in real estate that is the path. 90% of all millionaires become millionaires through real estate. There's no reason to revamp that. So with me working in the chemical plants, I was very good with money. After 2.5 years of working there, I paid off my first house.
Wow.
So I bought my very first house in 2008. That was my residence. And then I actually bought the house.
What'd you pay for that house in 2008?
$85,000.
Wow.
And then I bought the house directly across the street from
What's that house worth now?
That house right now, I wound up selling it in 2017. I thought it was the highest value it would get, and I sold it at $150, and it's now over $250. So if I would have just waited a little bit longer, but I'm glad I did because it ended up, in the position I'm at now. So, but I bought the house directly across the street from that, $93,000. Moved into that one because it was bigger for my family. Had a rental that was paid off right across the street. Wound up paying that property off, and then building our home that we moved into in Mont Bellevue. Everything was good. I was working in the plants, no problems, had rental income that was coming in continuous. We were making $200,000+ a year, plus my rental income that was coming in. Very easy life, not stressed out, nothing like that. I went off into a medical mobile x-ray company for a while.
What year is this and how old are you?
This is in 2014. 2014, I went into that. So it was about 3 to 4 years that I did that, and I lost my ass on it. Did not win on it, just completely lost, which wasn't a whole lot. I probably ate about $50,000.
Oh, you started a business in medical field?
Yeah, in the medical field. Yeah. And I was a silent partner at 25% ownership, and I realized right then I don't ever want to do that again. If I don't have at least 50% ownership, I don't want to mess with it because I need to be able to step in when things go wrong.
That's a nugget, guys. That is a nugget. Yeah, that is so good.
And to correct things. And I don't want anything different than me and my partner as well. So if I have 50, I want you to have that same control, same control as well. If something goes wrong, you can step in and fix it. And I'm talking about if I was to die, like something drastic happens, right? So I learned from that. And then I went to about 2 years where I just kind of chilled. I sold my rentals in 2017, and I went through 2 years about chilling. And I kept watching him online on Facebook over and over and over. And me and James grew up together. So I've known him since we were 8. We went to different schools, played baseball together and stuff. Kind of went our own paths, and I would follow him. I kept seeing post online with his family. I was like, what's this dude doing? So I knew it was something in real estate. So I came, met up with him, met up at his house. We talked and everything, and that was like on a Friday. By Monday morning, he came to my house with a cashier's check for $120,000. I had $120,000, and we went to the auction to go buy a house. So I immediately went right back into, full-fledged. This is 2019, into real estate.
You cashed a CD you had.
Yeah, well, I hadn't cashed that one yet. I hadn't cashed my CD yet. But I did have a CD because I was chasing, I had 3%, big money.
Big money.
I thought that was big money, guaranteed, secured. I had money that was locked up, and I had it locked for 5 years. So what wound up happening that I wound up going 2.5 years. I cashed out, made no money on that just because I had to pay the penalties to get out of it. And then I started investing heavily into the real estate. Yeah. No, that wasn't even the note.
It was a 12-2 note.
Yes.
And I convinced you. I said, dude, I'm about to pay you 2 points on the loan origination.
Which is more. Yeah, so that was like in 2020. We were doing loans. We did loans, a loan together. Wound up going, it was only mailbox money. I started buying into foreclosure auctions. I didn't have access to properties. So I started buying into the auctions and everything was good. I was buying houses like almost every month. As they would come up, I would buy these properties. I would go vet them. I'd go watch them. I learned about the title stuff. I would do my own due diligence in them. These are lipstick jobs. I say lipsticks between $7,000 and $10,000 in rehab. So I'm just doing paint, carpet, changing countertops, in and out, relisting them, and I was making.
When we brought that foreclosure, when I brought 120, you brought 120.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember. What about?
Well, I mean, we didn't buy it because we didn't have.
Oh, yeah, we didn't bring enough.
That was the first deal we tried to do together.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, they said that the balance would be less. It was like
230 is what they told us, and it was actually higher than that. We didn't have enough. We didn't bring enough with us. So I learned from that with the auctions on that, and I would miss out on deals too because I had a honey hole that no one else really knew about, and I would go there and there wasn't competition. So I wasn't telling people what I was doing.
Time, nobody thinks there's foreclosures.
Yeah, there's foreclosures that were happening. I was going there like every month. I would actually do rehabs on properties. I don't advise this, but it was only $7,000, $10,000. So it wasn't like the end of the world, but I was basically buying properties, doing rehab before I received my deed back. So it takes about 11 days after you buy in a foreclosure for them to send the deeds to you and everything. And I would buy it. I would go there and I'd have the house rehabbed, ready for sale, like within less than 2 weeks. So by the time I got the deed, the property was for sale, and then I would sell them. I was undercutting everybody. And I was making about $40,000 to $50,000 every one of these, just turning and burning as fast as I could. And he knew what I was doing, but he stayed away from my stuff.
He told me he'd slashed my tires.
Yeah,
I went up there.
Wait, being for real, like y'all were on bad terms?
No,
jokes? Okay.
I was just joking with him. I was like, hey, auction day, you're going to come outside and you're going to be on 4 flats. Like, you're not going to be able to get there.
Yeah.
So, but I started buying in the auctions, and then I basically started to develop a name for myself where I was getting organic leads that were coming in. People were starting to send me leads, and I started really, really growing.
Why?
Because of social media. Social media, I was doing posts of what I was doing, things. People knew what I was doing. My wife at the time had got a real estate license, so she was advertising that were in there. People were asking to meet up with me and just really going to networking events, showing up at his place with the King James lending that he had, and really just kind of building my own network. And I over-leveraged myself mentally, not financially. And that is a whole different avenue right there. And so the money wasn't the problem. It was just the workload I was handling while I had a full-time job. I could not do both.
Yeah.
Nobody believed he had a full-time job.
Yeah, they didn't know.
He was doing that many.
That's
Nobody could believe it.
That you're doing double, volume,
right.
10 plus flips at a time. It's unfathomable.
That's
that
another nugget for you guys that have jobs, because there's few people that can do it, but it's possible. It's possible to have a job and do that.
But I will tell you what it cost me a family over that. And so, and as part of it, there's more to that story than just that, and I'm not going to go deep off into it, but it's when you have a goal that's driven like that, you have to have a partner that's aligned with you 100% on what you want and the goals. She was satisfied with mediocrity. She was satisfied with saying, you have enough. We've made enough money. I don't need to do that. You don't need to work like that. Just work your job and come home. And that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to come, speak at Chris Rood's place on a Thursday, random. I didn't have to ask anybody if I wanted to do this. I can wake up and do what I want to.
Can't hold down a high performance guy. No woman can hold down a high performance guy.
You can't do that. So I would restrain myself, and I would tell him, like, man, I'm restricted. I can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. And I basically got to a point to where I ran out of excuses, and that's why it's significant in the September 2022. September 2022, my divorce was finalized. So when I finalized that, that's when all hell broke loose. You basically have a beast that's caged that knows all this information and just got released.
Who's hungry?
What happened. And when that happened, that's when I really started to grow. You talk about having nuts to do things, 0 cares in the world. My worst case scenario is if I went into foreclosure and I could start all over. I'll use somebody else's money, somebody else's credit, and I'll rebuild everything that I just did. I have 0 cares of that.
Guys, you hear that? You can fail financially and start over. You're not going to die. Business is war, and it hurts probably more than physical pain because I've been through some mental anguish, almost went bankrupt a couple of times, and it was hurtful. But you know what? I didn't die, but I got stronger, and you can come back.
Yep.
And you know what you can't come back from? Screwing people over.
Yep, your reputation.
As long as you keep your name good, things happen in business.
Yep.
You know, when you're doing people wrong, I mean, there's a number of people that we know, they did a lot of people wrong, and
I had a lot of stuff go wrong with me. I had contractors take me for $100,000+ that were, supposed to be my best friends at Thanksgiving dinner with me. I mean, that's a real story that really happened to me. When
that's real life. That's going to happen. If you play the game long enough, you're going to cross paths with some dirtbags.
So the way you prevent that, and we've learned that now, is bring construction in-house. You control those cards.
Yeah.
As things go wrong, you made that call. Yep. You hired the contractor that you chose to do. We have project management that's now, and basically I grew that from September 2022 to now it's owning over $25 million worth of real estate. It's probably higher than that. I don't know the exact number to it. The last time I looked at it on the PFS sheet, that was before we bought the apartment complex, was at 22.6.
Yeah, but that's impressive for that short of a time.
That it is.
But I'm not shocked knowing a little bit about you now and your work ethic and drive and just overall hunger and hustle.
And whenever I got overloaded, I saw that, and my lack of sleep, working 100 hours a week. I mean, I did 100 hours for 2 years straight. And that's no lie. You're working 50 hours a week somewhere else, plus I was putting in work before and after. I mean, I was in the straight overdrive that was in that. And you mix in having money, women, all that other stuff like that, it's a total different, avenue of that. And then
you had time for women?
I did. Now, that was until my September 2022 is whenever I met my wife that I have now.
Right.
Too. So I had something to ground me a little bit in the growth point of that. So I had something to ground. Yeah, I did, thankfully, that had her that was there. I had her to ground me that was in that, focus on things, not going to strip clubs, not doing things like that.
Personality is extreme.
It is.
Fair to say? In anything we do, it doesn't matter. You pick it. It's extreme. We're going to go off in a way that very few are going to.
High performance, good or bad. High performance entrepreneurs. I've been around a lot of high performance people, and I've interviewed them, been on podcasts, met them at masterminds. We're all a bunch of freaks and extremists.
We have to be.
Whatever we do, we're gonna do good or bad. If we're into drugs, they're gonna be the best drug dealer or best drug addict. If they're in business or if they're in real estate, you're exactly right. We are extremists. So
the way me and him actually got together and wound up merging was, he had his own stuff that he did. I remember in 2020, he told me, man, I just paid $400,000 in taxes. And I'm like, $400,000 in taxes? That's crazy. How did you, he said, yeah, I made $1.2 million that year, or it was 20 or 2021.
You weren't in real estate at the time, I'm assuming.
Oh, no, he was in real estate, yeah. And he told me he paid that bill, and I'm like, that is unfathomable until I had to do it. And then it was like, that is not okay. I'm not doing this. I'm going to figure out whatever I can. That's why I started holding the assets.
Yeah.
And buying and holding on to stuff so I could depreciate out.
Okay, guys, another nugget. I always talk about fast, medium, and slow money. If you just get stuck in fast and medium money, transactive, active income, you start making $1 million or more, dude, you're going to get smoked. Yeah. You have to start layering in slow money, buying whole assets to get you depreciation, cost segregation, do some 1031 exchanges. So
yeah, and then I got to where I was, mentally overloaded with work, with everything that I had going on. So James was just like, man, if you get deals, just throw them over here. And I never had a problem with the deal flow. That was probably the best thing that I had was deals that were coming in, and I overloaded his system. So I started bringing deals and throwing into him, and it was basically overloading his stuff. And it got to a point where I was throwing so many into the pot that he was just like, well, I guess we're just going to do this. I'm going to shut up shop on mine. He's already stopped shop on his. Let's create an LLC together and let's roll. And that's what we did. We created the LLC, and it was off to the races. I quit my job. I went full-time into this.
Why? Why did you partner up with him? I think that's a good question.
Well, there was multiple reasons to partner. For one thing, he already had a system that was in place. So Annie had funds, which was, he has a hard money company that's there that I'm able to get capital. Instead of using my private funds that could tap out, I could go to him and I could get funds at bank rate money. So I got to see how he navigated, how he did people, how all this stuff played out. So that was like, if I'm going to have somebody that I'm going to roll with, that's the partner I want, because he's going to ride this ship down with me. Yeah. He's going to go up and he's going to go down.
He brought massive value.
Matt had aligned with the same goals and the same views that I did.
Bet you had different skill sets too.
We do. We do have different skill sets that we have. We do have different skill sets to it. I'm very, very good at the construction side of it. You know, he's really good at the emotional sides of things, the lending side of it, the relationship parts of that. I'm more, you know, like when it just comes down to it. That's why I mean, the social media stuff, what you see me online is 100% me. It's not edited, real shit. That's just me.
You said you're raw.
Like, I'm so raw about it. If someone says, hey, you're not doing 20 active flips, motherfucker, I will show you. I will bring you to every property that I have. Yeah. I will show you the deeds. I will show you how to look them up and go to the CADs, and you can search the records, and you can go see this. Yeah. Like, it being transparent.
Yeah, I love that.
Not many people will do that.
No,
I'll send you my fucking loan stuff and say, this is what it's paying per month. This is bank statements. It's real shit. Yeah. Like, I wish it's not sometimes, but it's real.
I had a guy come to my mastermind years ago. He's like, you don't own that house. One of my houses in Destin. I ain't coming to your mastermind until you prove to me you own that house. You rent it. I said, okay, go in tax assessor's office. Sure enough, he had to go in tax assessor's office and show that I owned it, because there's so much phony stuff out there.
There is. Somebody can take you to a different property.
Most of it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So I have zero problems with somebody saying, hey, you know, you trust but verify. When you trust and verify, you can dig off into me as much as you want. You're going to see what you do.
Just because you're not capable of it doesn't mean someone else isn't.
That is such a good piece of information, guys. I want you to repeat what you just said.
Just because you're not capable of something doesn't mean someone else isn't. And truth is they probably aren't either at the same time you were, right? There's a growth curve.
Yep.
Not everybody just stumbles into destined properties. Right? That's a phase of growth you've had intentionally, and they just haven't started that. It's not fair comparison fully.
Well, and to your point, James, is a lot of people have a mindset that if this other person can do it, because I can't do it, but you can.
I'm not better than nobody, but I'm willing to work harder than them and never give up.
Yeah. That is the difference, though.
That is the difference. Whenever I trained, you know, chemical operators, I've excelled at everything that I do. I really do. And even when I was in operations, you know, me becoming trainers of guys that were, you know, I was on number 13 out of 15 guys, and I became their trainer. You know, they would say, oh, I've got the time or whatever it was that's in there. Yeah, but I got the knowledge.
Seniority.
So, yeah, I've got seniority, but I got the knowledge. Yeah. You know, I'm going to override that. So that's how I became their trainers, because I learned so much about what I was doing. You get obsessed with your craft of what you're doing.
But you got obsessed with learning, too.
Obsessed with learning.
Yeah. You don't get as good and as good as you guys do by not being an avid learner.
You have to be.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way around it.
Well, you have to. The faster that you accept that problems are going to happen, it's my job to solve those problems. And you get paid accordingly to that. The bigger problems you solve, the bigger paychecks you will get. That's the truth of things.
You know, it's funny, when we had that mastermind you put on, you had everybody who was like, yeah, I'm a master of the universe, and I'm going to do $1 million, this or that. He had said, I'm a problem solver. I don't know if you remember that. I thought that was interesting. That's how he described himself. Not, I got all this millions of dollars. I'm a problem solver. Yep. I think that's the right. You know what I mean?
That is a key point for you guys to pay attention to, is that you don't have to be the smartest, because there's street smarts and there's an intellectual, analytical smarts where you're a spreadsheet guy. And the spreadsheet guys typically don't start businesses because they're engineers. They push paper, they're pencil pushers, and they like to be in a box.
We have a term, we call it analysis paralysis.
Right.
It's where you're overanalyzing something. Yeah. Guys like that, they got $150,000. They're sitting there analyzing deals, and they're, man, I can't ever find a good deal. So you're never going to find a good deal. You're overanalyzing everything. Yeah. Now, we do risk mitigation on everything that we do, 100%. Like, we always look at what can go wrong before what can go right. Yeah. So I look at the worst case first, and then I navigate from that.
You know what you do with the analysis by paralysis? You get a number from them that they want. How much do you want to make on a deal? Oh, I want to make $40K. Then you go find that and you show it to them and say, this is, in a worst case scenario, you're going to make $40K. It's harder to, you know what I mean? When you start getting combat that. I'm giving you exactly what you want. If you're not willing to do this, you just are scared.
Yeah, well, that's what it boils down. Is their risk tolerance. I find that high performance entrepreneurs have a risk tolerance muscle that's stronger than most, and they can foresee and predict in their mind they have like 4 or 5 browsers, 6 browsers, and they say, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen. And they got to figure out in their mind, and they're okay with it. But other guys, they want, analytical people want to know for sure. But guys, I guess, have variables, but they want to predict to the T because they're engineer mindset.
Yeah.
But we're okay with variables. But
The real world.
we'll pivot and we'll solve the problem.
It's funny you said engineer. I used to tell our engineers, God created operators so engineers can have heroes. And that,
Ain't that the truth?
and a lot of them lack common sense. So I dealt with a lot of that stuff, with operations, and we just anything that was involved in operations. I really, really enjoyed what I did with that. I became the captain of a fire brigade, fire team. Really good at fire and rescue. I was good at.
So you were a firefighter?
Yeah, I did. I was a captain. I became the captain of our fire brigade team. We had 24 guys over there. And that was because of my rescue skills. So the learning to tie the knots and all that stuff like that, I was very, very excelled way higher than everybody else at that stuff. And they saw that and rewarded me for it. And that's probably one thing that I do miss because I enjoyed that stuff, going to fire fields and things like that. But, real estate is really where my passion is. When you're passionate for something like this, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. Well, and you said you're a problem solver, and dude, the biggest studs in real estate are problem solvers. They're good at communication, they're good at persuasion, they're good at influence, and they can make it a win-win situation and show the cards and make it where everybody wins. And that's why you do so well. I can see it.
And the biggest thing in that is if you realize you can outmoney anything, you have to be able to generate that money. That's the biggest thing. So if you can wholesale your way out of anything, in real estate, you just have to be able
and I want to talk
deals.
about, I want you to hold that thought about wholesaling because I want to talk about that next after we move on to James, and remind me to talk about that because if you can wholesale, this is one of the hardest skills. If you can wholesale at a high level and, convince somebody to sell their property and make it a win-win, dude, you can do any business because it forces you to negotiate. It forces you to understand comps. It forces you to be able to solve a problem. And that's all the skills you need to be a really good business owner. Before we get into that's why you're so good at this. But James, I want to talk to you about your upbringing, where you came from, your background, kind of, a synopsis, kind of what he talked about.
Well, I had a little different. I was in a family business. Kind of got out of high school, went straight into the family. My dad got a contract in Austin doing the toll roads up there. So
doing the what?
Toll roads. So they built toll roads in Austin. And so that's kind of right when I got out of high school, I was going to college, got my operator's degree. I actually had Air Laquis and Valero. I was on the final stages of getting hired on as an operator. Everybody from where we're at are operators. Pretty much.
Most of them are chemical operators.
Yeah. And I was just about on, and it just so happened my dad got a very large contract in Austin. I mean, I'm talking right when I was getting hired on. And it was he just come to me and said, "Son, I need you." I said, "Well, my girl's here, all my friends are here, everybody I know's here. I'm about to get a job. I'm about to start my own career." But my dad came and he said, "I need you. I need you in Austin. I can't run this." And it was a very large contract, very, very large. And in the Bible, it talks about kind of honoring your mother and father. And he just always taught me to do that sort of thing. And so when he told me that, he said, "I need you," I dropped everything. And I left my girl, I left all my friends, I left everybody, and I went to Austin. And I ran it for 9 years. All my 20s, I kind of found out. I ended up meeting my wife, my current wife, in Austin. My life changed drastically in a number of different ways by doing that. But so it's kind of interesting how some of that stuff plays out that you'd really, just by being faithful to some degree.
And just doing the right thing, being faithful.
And so anyway, I went up there, did that, and met Maggie, had my first child, and it kind of got to a point where it was man.
How old were you this time?
I mean, I was 27, 28. So
what year was this, roughly?
15. Yeah, 2015, something like 14, 15. About 10 years ago when I started real estate, but I broke off. I was watching HGTV, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, my problem with my dad's business, I didn't know if that would fold. I didn't know what would happen there, right? So it's I could work all this, and then 10 years down the road, maybe I own it, maybe it all folds, maybe something happens. Who knows? I had no control over my financial future. I was watching HGTV, and I had my first son. So it's man, I need to do something. I need to do something for him, for my wife, take control over my financial future. It wasn't in what I was doing. I didn't believe I didn't really want it. I didn't have a passion for that either. And I was watching HGTV one night, and there was a guy that made $80,000 on it. It was a house flip. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money. I could do that. There was nothing in that show that I could not do. And it got me thinking about real estate. That's what got me into real estate, was that show. Kind of what's possible.
Right.
And I told my wife, I think I could do that. And she was like, I'm backing you. So I ended up, I left my parents' business and I got into real estate full time. And I didn't have a job, and there's a period where I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
So you didn't have any real estate background?
No.
You watch HGTV, said, man, this is cool. I want to become a real estate investor, and quit.
Didn't know anything.
Quit working for your dad and just went do real estate.
Yes.
What aspect of real estate did you do?
Flipped. I was flipped.
You went straight to flips.
And I did it. Well, my first 2 I did with my sister. So I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I'm like, man, my sister was interested in real estate, so I called her up and said, hey, I'm getting full time. I'm gonna flip. Would you do it with me? And I said, my thinking there is if I lose my shirt, like at least I'll lose half of it, because I had no clue what I was doing. So we kind of both went in full force, did the first deal. We made $4,000, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be under a bridge, because it took, how to flip, right? Take 3 or 4 months. And it went smooth, but I didn't make no money.
You made $4,000?
$4,000.
Yeah. My
first deal, net. 2 each, 2 apiece.
Yeah.
We split it 50-50.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
made less than minimum wage.
Yeah.
You made 75
$500 a month,
yeah.
kind of thing. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And my thinking, I would, in the beginning, and even today, I drive everybody crazy because I ask a million questions. I'm more of an observer, and I notice every little thing. I ask a million questions, and I learn really fast, and then I implement it. Like, you don't even have to teach it. I learn things from him all the time, where I'm just observing what he's doing, and I'm saying, that's really smart. He didn't even know it. I'm absorbing it, and I go do it, and then it'll benefit both of us, really. Yeah. But it's kind of always been how I am.
You're a learner also? You're a learner also?
I'm more of a observer, a question asker, and I pay attention.
But you want to know.
Oh, yeah, big time, yeah. And I drove everybody crazy. Like my realtor, I just would ask a million, hey, if this happens, what happens? If this happens, what happens? And to me, when you're doing something, kind of like, that's why you got good, because you asked why. And you're just saying that over and over again.
That's so good. Asking why, how.
See, I was doing my very first flips I was doing, even back in 08, I did all the constructions to our house. And I'm talking about one of them that was flooded out. I went and did all of the work in the damn house. I was squeezing to save a bunch of money, but on the weekend, I'm over there painting the house at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I never forget that.
I'm not joking.
Taking a photo of him, and I was like,
painting the house. Just not good use of your time on that. But a lot of it, even with James, and I reflect on this a little bit too. James was able to do a lot of the stuff that he had because of his wife. And I will say this, really it's a praise really to how their setup was. She made very good money, very, very good money.
She's CPA.
She was CPA. She made very good money. So that allows you to chase your dreams when you have that. Have that supporting system like that. You can't live on $4,000 every 4 months.
And she backed me.
She backed him. That's in that. She believed in him.
She supported you
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she got obviously she saw all of it from start to finish, and she's reaping the benefits of it now. She doesn't work for that anymore. Now she still works her ass off. By far, so does my wife. Both of them, 100%. Neither one of us would be where we're at right now if it was not for our significant others right now.
Because they want to, though.
Yes, 100%.
It's in their blood. It's in their DNA.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. I don't know if she'd have it any other way.
Yeah.
She likes her trips.
Yeah. But, that's, a lot of it being able to chase that dream. Had he not had that, this probably would be a different story.
Yeah.
Now, he's still a high performer. It would have been in him to find a way. Yeah. But he would have had to go into the chemical plants.
But listen to what these two gentlemen were saying, guys, how important it is to have a supportive woman.
You have to.
If your wife ain't on board.
31 type woman.
Yeah. If your wife ain't on board, it's gonna cripple you. Because
she's resenting you.
Yeah.
You're going out and killing it, and she's resenting your every move, every second you're away from the house. Every call you're answering.
I've had both sides.
A lot of it.
The resentment side of it, to where I had one that basically I hate real estate.
Yeah.
It was a realtor. I hate real estate. To another one that supports me. If I go look at a house, go check jobs, whatever it is, she's supportive of all of it, 100%. She's never told me, like, even going to getting into, buying commercial deals and doing big ass loans.
She's getting that title policy.
Yeah, no, not all the time. But I'm saying she's getting these big.
That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
she's an escrow officer.
Yeah,
she's getting these big. I'm still inheriting those big ass loans like that. She's never telling me no. Yeah, she's never like, "Are you sure?" or questioning or nothing like that. She's like, "You'll figure it out."
Yeah.
Like whatever it is.
Yeah. I would also say though, to some degree, that's something in you that she recognizes. And just with me and Maggie, you earn that a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A woman can be a great woman, but if she doesn't see the value in you as a partner, she'll never back you that way.
Yeah.
So there's an element of that, right? You're demonstrating to her that you're capable, and in return, she's giving that to you.
Yeah. 100%. Well, she sees you as a valuable man to her survival.
Yeah.
So let's talk about y'all's operation today. You know, we got a background story about both of y'all, how y'all came up, and y'all came together. Y'all got together in 2020.
So we actually merged together around 22.
Well, now we did deals all.
We did deals before, but actually merging into an LLC was about 22 to 23.
Okay.
Around that time.
Came together, a lot of synergy. You'll have opposite but equal skill sets, high value skill sets that really merge together and make you a force to be reckoned with. Because you got a hustler like Derek who can negotiate deals. And then you have a money guy who's smooth and can get all the deals done. You put that together, that's really what a real estate company consists of: deal flow and money.
And construction.
Construction, yeah.
One thing you always want to have, could you imagine having two Chris's? That's what you really ultimately want. You can get another you that's there. We have that.
Yeah.
We have two of us that's there. If he goes on an appointment, I'm not worried about it. I already know if it can be locked up, it's going to be locked up. And it's going to be at a price that made sense. It's going to be at or better than what I would get at. So when you have two of those people like that, you're able to split. You're able to split time and areas.
And not worry.
Yes.
That's a key.
That is a big thing.
Yeah.
If he goes on vacation or something like that, he doesn't have to worry about what's going on back there. He knows I'm going to make the right decisions. He makes the right decisions. We'll negotiate things. Now, we still talk about what we have that's going on, but it's more so, hey, I'm just telling you what I did.
Yeah, I call that a foxhole partner, somebody you go to war with, that you can trust, because that's hard to find. That's, I tell people, just when you get in a partnership with another man, it's like marrying a man. It's no different than you marrying a woman.
It is a marriage.
And it can almost get nastier than divorcing a woman. So it's super important, you guys listen to this, to hear these dynamics when you're partnering with people. Like it can make or break you, a good or bad partnership. And I love that you guys are, you work so well together. Let's talk about why y'all are crushing it right now, so the audience understands. I know why, and I'll chime in, but talk about what y'all got going on right now, deal flow, how it's set up, operations, and how all that, because I spoke at y'all's event, I saw everything, and I don't want to be the one that talks about it. You guys talk about it, and I'll chime in.
I would say more so we have created this organic lead that has, deal attract to us on their own.
If a deal needs to close tomorrow or today, we're getting that call.
There's no one that can.
It's one call. It's going to us. We had a buddy of ours at an apartment complex, needed $500,000 in 2 days. There's only one call he could make.
He wanted different terms than what I told him. I'm taking 50%. He wanted, hey, I've already vetted. I've already done this. I've already done that. I said, no, but you want $500,000? We're going to go buy it at auction. This is the way it's going to go down.
A portion of that, I think, is branding. You talk about branding is massive, right? It's just these guys are killing it. They're if they make a commitment, they're following through every time. They're always, their word means everything to them. So it's kind of that brand you build up. Yeah. I've been building it up 10 years. He's been building it up. He's really good too at help solidifying relationships. Like I've got all these relationships. He comes in, he makes them stronger. If he has a relationship, I make it stronger. So to some degree, it's the relationships that you're forging every day. You meet more people, you know everybody, that everybody knows you. And it's almost like an MLM to some degree.
Yeah.
Have you ever, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it spreads.
Yeah, it's compounding effect.
It's a compound. Exactly.
I want to chime in on this because, this is so important. I talk about this all the time and when I go speak, because we do a lot of the same things. It's not because we do the same thing, it's because it's how you're successful in real estate. He who controls the deal, he who controls the money, and he who has the most influence through goodwill of a brand controls the marketplace. And y'all control the marketplace. Just like in my areas, I control the market because I have unlimited deal flow, unlimited capital, and have a great brand. People know, like, and trust me. That's what I see. When I go over there, I see, wow, look at all this goodwill. And they have all the tools in the toolbox: deal flow, money, and goodwill.
Being willing to provide value before you receive it. There's a lot of people that can't even give me any value. What can I give you possibly? I don't even know. I'm not asking for anything.
Or they're looking at you, how can I steal from this guy? That's another thing.
That's true. That's very true. And that doesn't deter me at all. If you provide value to enough people long enough, real value, right? It comes back. There's something to be said about what you just said on goodwill. It's not tangible. It's very intangible, but it's built up over time. And then it's, hey, I told this guy, and then told this guy, then told this guy, and it's a compounding effect.
Yeah. That's equity. That's relationship equity, right? I mean,
it's providing value to someone before you're receiving it yourself. And we're real big on that even, and I've been preaching the same thing about it with our guys. If we let them win first, we will win more. But we have to let them win first.
So good.
We have deals, we have a PPC that we run now. So we have our organic flow that comes in on its own. That's probably 80%.
That's what I was so impressed with you guys.
It's that much that comes in on the organic. Like, just to give you an idea, on the way up here right now, and I've got literally text messages and straight from Facebook, people messaging me on, hey, I'm going into foreclosure. This woman just moved into a nursing home. Can you help her? Yeah, give me her contact information. Let me reach out to her. It's in my neck of the woods. I already know the property address that it's at. I'm going to make something happen out of this. And she's got 2 properties. That literally just happened on the way up here. And I use them to say, hey, go give me the contact information. Give me the property address. Do you have any photos? Give me what I need so I can see if I can help them. And I'll move fast. So another thing is I'm available. That's another big thing. You can be so busy that you're not busy enough, or you can be so busy that you don't have time to capitalize.
You're not available.
And so that's one thing I've been good at, is making myself available. Being available to take calls, take deals, and answering people, even if it's after hours, and having that.
And I've been very bad at that.
Yes.
I've lost many deals that I didn't answer because I had 20 other calls to get to that they called him next, and then he got it.
A lot of them too, though, was that, before you started to buy your time, before you started to really buy your time, you were wearing too many hats at one time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Before you bring in Rob, before you get me with you, before we get Chase, Kyle, you get Josh, you start averaging these guys in there, and now you can start getting your time back. And that costs. All those people cost money, right? So when we get deals, even like we were talking about our PPC program, when we bring in deals on our PPC, even if they're coming on or off PPC, we will still give our guys a check if they dispo. So
the wholesale operation.
The wholesale operation. So hey, we get deals. Unless it's something I can just send over to somebody, or we step in to the operation because they couldn't move it. Hey, I've got to borrow. Hey, we can't move this one. Okay, here, boom, I'll move it.
Took me a year to convince the guy that we have running our wholesale operation to join us. He got burned real bad. This guy he's like us, man. He's fantastic. He's really amazing. Yeah, just amazing. Good. He got burned so hard that he got out of real estate completely. Wanted nothing to do with it. Swore off real estate. And I spent a year.
He moved to Austin.
Yeah, he wouldn't even live here. I spent a year trying to convince him to come back to join us. He's like, I'm not getting in real estate. I'm not getting in real estate. No. I didn't stop. I kept over and over and over. I said, no, you're getting back in real estate and you're going to join us. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're going to get it. You're going to get back in. You're going to be successful. I'll make sure you're successful. I will help you. Hell, he just bought a home. We put up $20,000 to help him.
So before that, so right now, he came with us in January. So we paid for break his lease. He break his lease. We sent him $7,000. Hey, he broke his lease, came down here.
That tells you anything about our belief in him.
With nothing that's there beside our dream and our hopes. For him, for us.
No guarantees going to work out.
No guarantees.
I knew his history.
Yeah, we knew what he was capable of.
And I knew him.
That's a lot of goodwill.
And so hey, you pick the PPC program, you pick this, and let's go with it. And we'll fund it, and this is how we're going to work it. And so we created that. And now he has more money than he's ever had in his account. He's also just bought another home for himself. We were able to give him a second lien and helped him out. Hey, I'll help you with the construction. So hey, I'm sending my guys over there at cost. I'm not making nothing on that. I want to see you win. It's a very good deal for him and his family. You let him win married first.
He was separated from his girl. Who knows where they would have been, right? So when he came back here, they got back. They were together. Now they're getting married.
Yeah.
He just bought her a
ring. He was able to get into a house for a big 2-story home for them.
If you let your people win,
yeah,
you'll win even more.
Yeah, and now that person will be loyal for a lifetime.
Well, and now we have, where we get deals. They even find deals because they're attached to us off of our name. They know they're bringing deals into it, and we're taking 60 to 80% of that on every deal that we have, whether it comes in through our PPC or not. Now, vice versa, that we have one that came in, I dispo it out, we make $100,000 wholesale, they're taking 20%. You put guys that didn't have anything, $20,000 in their account, that's a change. So
let's talk about, though, the how-tos behind what y'all have built. Because I went over, I saw your operation. Like I said, we do a lot of the same things. I just do it a little bit differently using.
Were you shocked when you saw the board?
No.
See that?
I wasn't shocked that y'all were doing it. When I talk to people that are real deal, I know, I can just sense, I can feel. When it's genuineness, and it's not over fluff, and it's like when I talk to people, I can feel intention and energy. I know when I'm talking to bullshit artists, influencers. And when I was willing to go out there and, after talking to them on the phone, like, these guys are players. You don't talk like that without being players. When I got over there, so I wasn't shocked that, doing all these deals, you had a big operation, you had people, employees. But what I was really impressed with was the community that y'all built. And that's what I want the audience to hear, is y'all built a community via the brand and gave so much value for free. Every Wednesday, where y'all have them come out to your place, and you had 50 people in there when I spoke, I believe.
And only 3 people knew who you were.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that you killed it when you came out there and spoke. One of the greatest we've had speak there, I'm telling you. And it's a very 1 hour packed that they got. So,
but y'all built this audience organically.
Yeah. Now
that y'all serve, y'all are giving them a bunch of value, and now they just bringing you all this deal flow for free, and then you're reciprocating back by bringing them on deals, funding their deals. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Everybody wins, and that's what people get.
I'm the largest lender in Houston.
Yeah, and you're the largest because you're helping so many people, and you've created so much goodwill, and now you have this brand, and you have this deal flow, and you have all this access to capital, and it's an unstoppable force. And that's what I want you guys to understand. You can do real estate without building a brand, but you're not going to compete with James and Derek, who are building a brand in your community. And when you build the brand, if you're creating so much goodwill and you're helping a lot of people and bringing value, like you said, James, just bringing value first, dude, you're going to win. Talk about that, what y'all built with that community.
I think it helps to lead from the front. It's hard to build a community on what you want to do, what you're going to do. You know what I mean? But you're leading from doing. You're saying, hey, let me show you what I'm doing and how you can do it, and let me hold your hand. Come walk these properties. We all were always, hell, the other day you took come in from San Antonio.
Yeah.
Took him all around several properties we're doing, showing them all that we're, I mean, it's not this is a dream. You know what I mean? You're building a brand by leading by example. I think that's really important too, and it's
but you're truly helping people.
Well, sure, yeah. People, something they've always wanted to do, when you can give them a deal or help them with the financing, maybe introduce them to a contractor. I mean, you're basically lining it all up.
Yeah.
From just every step of the way. But I just think that's big. If you can, I've always been the type that, I don't want to try to go teach somebody something I've never done.
Can't.
Not effective.
Oh, that's go on Instagram. I promise you.
When you start talking to somebody, you can tell if they've done this or not.
Yeah.
You can't be teaching somebody after you've done 1 or 2 flips and think you're a guru at it. It's just not. It's not real. I mean, you're going to go through problems and issues, especially when you hold a rental portfolio. I mean, it's going to. Shit, just on the way up here, we got hey, your apartment, we're going to have to go 52 feet underneath. And it's going to cost you $7,000. I didn't know it was 52 feet at first. I'm like, hell no. Tell them I'll get another quote. That's too much or whatever. It should be right out the outside. He's like, hey, it's 52 feet. I'm like, hey, tell them to go ahead and do it. They're using 6 inch or 4 inch. That's what I need to know. And so.
But I thought it was passive income.
Yeah, no. Now you can limit. So that's a good thing you said that. So you talk about rental portfolio, right? So rental portfolio, we do have a rental portfolio that cash flows, okay? And I use quotations when I say that. So it's very, very hard in today's market to cash flow at a 7% rate with insurance and everything else. The only way you're going to do that is if you straight up stole the property, I mean stupid low, or you did something that was out of the ordinary where you did forced appreciation of the property. Taking the property, converting it to a duplex, hey, taking this, got a garage apartment, I'm gonna make this into a separate rental, I'm gonna do all bills paid, And then you can make something, and you can actually take if I was to regular rent this, I get $1,800 to now I'm getting over $3,300. Or if I'm going to get, $1,400 or $1,500 on this rent, now I can get $2,700 by converting it to 2. Those are things that we've done that in our portfolio with our single families. We've converted them like that. Now it costs more money to convert up front, but we refinance out. When we got our refinance money, we just did, I think, 6 of them recently. When we got our capital back out of it, we went and put new roofs on some of the units. And the reason you do that is because now I've got units that have, and I learned this with my stuff, and he got to see basically then how it navigates. Go do brand new roofs, go put new water heaters, make sure the foundation stuff is solid there, make sure everything, all your appliances are new. Your CapEx for the next 10 years should be nothing. It should be very, very minimal. Or it's under warranty for a lot of the stuff that's there. It's nothing worse. You get a phone call saying, hey, I've got a plumbing issue underneath there. And now I've done refinance the property, I've done spent the money, and now I've got to come out $10,000 to do a repipe completely up underneath the bottom of this house. And I've had to do that. I've also had to, just recently went back in, spent $17,000 on one doing an entire redoing a pier and beam house. All new flooring, all new pier and beam, all new baseboards.
It's a lot of money.
While somebody's living in the damn house. I mean, it's just a shit show.
Yep.
It's better just to do those things on the front end if you're going to hold a portfolio.
Yep.
Now, you'll still have problems. You'll still have things that pop up. But a lot of my portfolio that I did that with houses, I have no issues with.
But to say, and I'll argue with influencers online about this, I buy a bunch of rental property for cash flow.
No.
No, you don't.
No.
You buy rental property first and foremost for store value.
Yep.
Appreciation, then 2, depreciation, then principal pay down, then 4, cash flow. We make our money in business and we hold it in real estate. I hate when people say, yeah, you see these ads running, hey, you can have the life just like me. Hey, I'm at the beach, I'm just on my computer, I got all these rental properties, and I can show you how to live off your passive income just like me. Click the link below. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Rental property that's why I call it slow money. You have to have it in your portfolio, and you got to do it so you can build wealth. But you truly don't make money with these assets until 1, they're paid off, or 2, they're completely stabilized and rehabbed completely, which is a long process.
Yeah. And a long process unless you buy it deep enough to be able to do it on the front end.
Yeah.
So like our apartment complex, we just bought 72 units. We're converting it to 74 units. So I'm taking the office, converting it back into a unit itself, the laundromat, which it has one right next to it. So we're just going to make that into the office that's there in case the girls go up there and need to do anything. And then we're converting 16 of the units into 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I'm going to ramp that income up to about $65,000 a month on a loan that's at $3.7 million. So if you do all the calculations to that, even with your expense ratios and everything that's there, from the numbers wise, you'll cash flow a hefty amount per month, probably $10,000 to $12,000 a month after all expenses, property management, everything that's there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and replace the roofs. That's $105,000. I'm addressing the windows that's there now. We're repainting the entire facility. They've already done all new electrical and all new plumbing. What major expense am I going to have left? There's nothing that's there. The units are already rehabbed. You'll have minor things that you'll have to do between appliances, things like that. Keep 2 on stock at all times. You got property management that stays on site. You buy very good assets, and they'll perform very good for you, but you have to invest that money into them first.
Yeah.
And same thing with your single families.
Yep.
It's the exact same thing. You invest in them first, and then you can make your money. But you do not cash flow on your portfolio. It's just not. It's not real.
Well, no, and just 2, insurance has doubled and tripled. Cost of material has doubled. Labor has doubled and tripled. It's not like it used to be, right? It's even harder than it's ever been to cash flow real estate. You can still do it if you're doing, what we're doing, and we're buying properties direct to seller. We're stealing properties legally, morally, and ethically, and getting these awesome deals. And it's still tough to make cash flow right now. But James, talk about how important it is to raise capital.
Oh, man, that's everything. I mean, I realized that early on.
Or be able to just have that, to develop that skill.
Yeah.
It's really, because I tell people, it's a superpower in real estate.
Sure. Well, that's been my greatest gift. There ain't no doubt, is raising money. I think it comes down to trust. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's you as an operator, yes, but it's just, does somebody trust you with their money? That's really what it comes down to. And I've always had a way of that. Just people inherently trust me. I take it very seriously. It's kind of interesting. Toller was a German, and what Toller was, it was for the toll. It's kind of interesting though if you look back at my history. I served the king, like our family served the kings, and we collected money for the king. That was the toller was
Toller. Oh, that's the name.
Yeah, my last name was Toller. Yeah, James Toller, and so which came from toll, which that we
pay a toll.
We collected the toll. We collected the fees for the king.
So you were a tax collector.
Yeah, that was literally.
That's where you get it from.
I guess so. I don't know, but I mean, it's fascinating when I read our genealogy, and it was loyalty, right? Because I mean, think about it, you're handling the king's money. Go out, you raise this money, you get the money, right? I mean, does the king trust you? It had to be very trustworthy with all this money. I could steal a little bit here or there. So, I mean, he had to trust you with that. And I've always been that way. Like, I'll never risk anything. Like, and Maggie's that way too, my wife. She's very, very, very serious. I was telling him we had a file where we had a partnership, and this guy calculated his numbers, and his cut of the deal was $118K. Well, when she ran the numbers, it was wrong. He was wrong. And she said, nope, you're wrong. You're getting 140. You're not getting. How many people would have just been like, 118? You're low. Go for it. No problem. They just say 118. She's like, no. This is 140. That's what you're getting. And he's like, well, he just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe something. So that's kind of how I am. That is how I am, and that's why probably my wife and I attracted each other so much. But she won't deal with it, and some of that drives him crazy. Just how strict she is with some of that stuff.
But being a good steward.
At the end of the day, it's protecting him and I. Because we want to push the boundaries a little bit sometimes, and you're doing deals and you want to make this and do this, and she's like, I'm going to keep y'all straight because I'm going to protect y'all.
She would, like, even now, she was asking just now, she's like, hey, why are y'all buying in Galveston? I said, it's cheap. And she's like, well, don't y'all worry about this, and this. She's like, I haven't been involved with what y'all got going on right now. This is literally just asking us. What y'all got going on right now? She's like, yeah, I hope y'all got it at least 50% or less. And I said, we did. We'll buy it. Well, basically, you buy it in those areas when it's no brainer. Like, you have to buy this.
Is there places here where you really don't want? It's not the best place, but if you could get it for 30 cents on the dollar or 40,
you just have to.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Sell it off.
I mean, you get some for cheap enough. I mean, I'll buy in the straight ghetto. I mean, if it's cheap enough, because I mean,
you can own or finance it and get the down and recoup most of your money.
Back to the loan part, because I wanted to touch this, but I was going to let you finish. So I've had a couple of loan files that that I had that were in my personal name that we had and were going on that, like, when that contractor took me for over $100-something, a lot of people that take them out.
Which was a buddy of yours, right?
Yeah, which
it was a best friend.
Yeah,
both of ours. We're a good friend.
That would take most people out, and it did take people out. Like he had done this to
family
other people
members.
And took people out, like took their money, took them out completely, and
not just you,
and not just me. Well, she, we were talking about it with a file, and she looked at, she said, "Yeah, this is my riskiest one on my portfolio." I said, "No, it's not." And she said, "Yeah, it is. Look at the numbers in this." And I said, "I'm on the file. It's your safest file you have." And she had to let that process go through to it. And when the process finished out, I figured it out like I always do, and got out of it. Now I had to dig deep. I had to dig way, way deep into that bag and pull out of it. I had to basically finish the construction, go more negative into the hole, and I had to bring $60,000 to the closing table to get out of the loan on the back end of it, and I owner finance it to somebody else. But I figured the damn thing out myself. And I had another file that happened, which I guess she realized it from there. Like, in my lenders have always, no lender has ever, I don't owe anyone money besides banks or whatever. All of them be paid. Never missed payments, very good credit scores. I mean, we just don't do that. We pay our lenders. That's what makes you where you are. That's your leverage. Yep. You have to protect that. And I had one file we closed, smoking deal. We bought it and we couldn't get flood insurance on it. It was a hurricane in the Gulf. They took it and said, "Hey, we'll fund it," because it's me. They were like, "Oh, we'll fund it. You'll be fine. You can get it afterwards. No big deal." Come to find out, it had what was called a 1613 sanction on it. 1613 sanction means it's had repetitive floods in the last 10 years, and they put what's called a red, it's like a red tag, but it's like a red flag that's in the system. They will not allow you to get flood insurance at all. There is no way of getting flood insurance until that is waived. And the county has to release that. The way they release that is if you have to have either first floor abandonment or you have to raise the house. That's basically your two ways. And neither one of those options would blow the deal up completely. So I said, "Hey, you're going to have to let me figure this out for a second," because she's like, "We need to get floods." And you had to hold up. You can't let me figure this out. I can't
flood.
So what I wound up doing, it was a good deal for somebody else that was willing to buy it and get into it. So we wound up.
Hold on, but you got to talk about how you got into the deal. There's the hurricane.
The hurricane. Yeah, the hurricane got into it. They couldn't write the policy because there was a hurricane in the Gulf.
That filing popped up later on. It was not obvious what it was. They said you can get flood, no problem.
Yep.
And then that was on a Friday, right? Hurricane comes. They're like, we had to stop the policy, but you can do it Monday. Well, they had to close.
So we closed. Yeah.
And then Monday comes along, and they were like, you can't get flood. And she's like, I've already bought it.
Oh, my goodness. And that's going to happen.
And so what we did, we wound up not doing anything to it, didn't draw any money out of it, just listed to the MLS, and somebody bought it. Somebody bought it cash. They didn't need the insurance. Someone bought it cash as is, $160,000. I think we brought like $30,000 and took a bath. But my lender's protected.
That's right.
You know, I'm not going to let them eat that. And the reason that happened, I want to say not just that in particular, but a lot of those files that happen like that, I don't get heavily involved into them.
Yeah.
And usually, now I probably still would have went through, but I usually, if I'm heavily involved into them, there's not mistakes.
Yeah, but that's like, that might happen once, twice in a lifetime at best. And when you're doing the amount of volume you're doing, it's going to happen where you can't predict. But the key is you did the right thing.
If something's too good to be true, you need to really vet it. Because it was a smoking deal. We were going to make
$400,000.
Yeah, $400,000. We bought it for $140,000. I mean, just a smoking deal.
Got a little greedy.
Lot on the golf course. I mean, just something's not right with
That's
this.
another golden nugget, guys. The old saying, pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered.
So even, you start looking at really cheap, cheap deals. We have them in certain areas that what's called like the IBM district, which is it's an industrial area that you can't get permits, and they watch those areas. So you can get houses over there for $20,000-$30,000, but they're not worth anything.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And the city knows that. And so they won't issue permits, won't let you repair them. They're just, whatever they are, they're shit shows.
Yeah.
And we know that. We know to be looking for stuff like that. But if you didn't, you could get your ass bit.
Yeah.
Really quick.
That's where a mentor comes in, or an ally.
That's right.
Think about having allies to back you and let you inform you. It's invaluable. I mean,
it is super
valuable. You paid $10,000 to be an ally, but you just saved them $100,000. I mean, that's the way it should work.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Starting to wrap this thing up. Let's talk about, one, what mistakes have y'all made that y'all can impress upon the audience that's listening, that y'all wish y'all had known when y'all got started? What y'all have done differently, and what are y'all's goals moving forward? What are y'all doing in the future?
Yeah, those three things. I wouldn't say I've made any big mistakes that's cost me a lot of money from a money side. I don't think I've lost money. That is not much. What I have messed up on is dealing with certain people too long. Right, and more of like an energy and of a peace, right? Or I'll say, hey, I can make money with you, and we can make money together, and I'm almost valuing the money over the peace, over the bullshit, over the stress, over the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really good.
It's like, man, you can make me money. I had this kid call me one time. I took a photo with this guy, and this kid's like 20 years old. I respect him a lot. He called me up and he goes, James, what are you doing? What do you mean? He's like, why did you take a photo with him? You know how he is. Everybody knows how he is. Why would you promote him? So, well, we just did a deal together. I'm just taking a photo, right? We're just doing a deal. He was like, never take a photo with him again. People look at you and think less of you when you're taking photos with him, when you're around him. This particular guy. And it's just a 20-year-old to have the balls to tell you that. And I valued it. I'm like, dude, I'm so thankful you called me, because you're so right. I'm valuing money too much over image and brand, for sure, right? But also peace and just the bullshit that comes along and the nonsense and the this and that. Sometimes I think I value money too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, for sure. I'm guilty of that too. I've done that. I'm thinking, you made me think about people that I associated with that I'm like, man, this is not what I align with. But I'm doing it because maybe he's got a bigger brand, or he can help me out financially, raising capital or what have you, because it's money driven when it's not moral and ethically driven or character driven or just, so yeah, that's so true. It can't all be about money.
Yeah.
That's good. How about you?
I mean, obviously it boils down to a lot of the people that you let around you, wasting time with people that are not really, your value in your time is so significant. Like what does it take how much does time cost? You can look back at 75 years old and waste all your time doing nothing, or you can look back at 75 years old and wish, what you've done from now till then. That could change your trajectory of your life 100%. So who you spend your time with is so significant that you're not wasting your time on bullshit. You can't do that. And the faster that you learn that and you can sniff through that, the better off you'll be. The tighter that you can get that circle, the better off you'll be. Yeah. You have to have people that around you, when you leave that room, that they don't say, that motherfucker this or whatever. You don't, if I leave a room, if someone's talking negative about me, I don't ever want to go back to that. Yeah. So if you have people like that around you, the faster you get away from them, the better off you'll be. I'd
say that's friends and not allies.
That's 100%.
Your friends will be the first person to cut your throat. Your allies will be the one bragging about you to your buddies.
Yeah, and that's you got to have those people. And when you find those people, you stay with them, you ride with them, you roll with those people like that. You can build an empire like that.
You know what? An ally will talk truth to your face and then brag about you behind your back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Some friends will do the opposite though.
That's exactly right. Or an ally will mess with you to your face and pick on you and then brag about you behind your back. But a friend or a supposed friend will, do that, but also talk shit behind your back.
Something I've learned too is
be nice to you and then talk shit.
I talk to Derek and I come to him and I say, man, this is something you need to work on. He knows he can handle that and think about that.
Yeah.
He's not going to get upset with me. Derek and I have never even had a fight, but he'll think about what I said, and I'll think about what he said many things to me, and I'm like, that's a very good thought.
We've had many disagreements, though, but it's positive.
But it's coming from a good place.
When I say that, he's done things that I've seen him go post or go hang out with somebody. Dude, don't do that. Like, I've literally called him immediately, like, don't do that. You should take that shit down. Don't put them on that pedestal because you're giving them a platform that they don't
deserve.
It's a negative trait to you, and if it's negative to you, it's a negative reflection to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't want. I want what's best for you and me.
Yeah, you got to guard your power, your environment, your influence, and dude, who you hang around with, other people see is that they're gonna think that of you by just your association.
Our wives are the worst by far. When I say that, our wives do not like. They don't. They just don't like people. There's like 2 people that they like, and it's right here, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't want to fuck with nobody else.
I love that.
They don't want to mess with nobody else. Like,
I love that.
100%. I'm telling you.
Me and my wife have a conversation once a week how we hate people.
Yeah.
And how screwed up people are, and how just something happened today. I'm gonna tell you off camera. It was so wicked. It's. I'm gonna tell you when we get off camera. But people are crazy.
Oh yeah.
Absolute batshit crazy. Especially if you're happy and you're trying to live your best life and they're miserable. Oh man, ain't that the truth? And women have a sixth sense, especially about other men. Like my wife has warned me about men, and I'm like, I didn't listen to her, and she was dead on every single time. I listened to her, like she says, hey, you better stay away from these.
Intuition.
Yes,
yeah.
Intuition.
Oh, they have that.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this up with.
Be sure to let you know about it too.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Let's wrap this up. I always ask my guests, what does an ally mean to you? Before we wrap it up, go ahead.
I would say an ally helps you reach a place you're not capable of reaching, right? And that might be inspiration, that might be capital and resources, that might be deal flow, that might be kicking your ass, telling you truth to your face and uplifting you. It might be, in time of discouragement, coming to your house at 1 o'clock in the morning to build you back up. But I feel like they're going to help you reach another level because they truly care about you and they love you. So everything that they're doing is coming from a place of love, designed to hit new levels, reach new places, and being there for you ultimately. I think that's an ally.
So I'm gonna show you this. This is something I still have this next to my bed. I keep this. It's like I have like a watch winder thing or whatever. My watch is. It's underneath there and it stays there. So something that in 2019 he wrote this. When we sat down and talked. I keep this paper and it's there. And it says, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. You can do anything you want in life as long as you help enough other people get what they want.
Yep, I love that. Especially that first part. Risk comes from not knowing what the hell you're doing.
Yep. So, and then you can help, you can have anything you want in life as long as you help enough other people get what they want.
Yeah.
That right there is probably the most important thing of what an ally is. If you're going somewhere, you're only going to go so far by yourself. It's not fun being up top by yourself. It's not. You want to have somebody next to you that's with you, that can go do the things that you do and have a good time. Right? That's what you want to be able to do. Live life on your terms and your freedoms. You're only going to go so far by yourself. I'm a firm believer of that. Anybody that's ever been super wealthy or super successful, I promise you, they've had somebody that had taken them to that level. Now, they might have branched off and they both retained wealth or whatever, but most of the people like that, look at Warren Buffett, you look at guys like
Charlie
that,
Munger.
They all had guys that were right next to them that took them to another levels that they couldn't. And we've talked about this before is, borrowing my nuts, like that's really what it is. My risk tolerance is extremely high, extremely high on risk tolerance. I'm not scared. I will go for it. I'll figure it out.
Because you know what you're doing.
I'm just going to figure the shit out, whatever it takes. Getting in the commercial space is like that, especially with him. It's going into an area of unknown, something you haven't done. And then I lean on to him and say, hey, should we bring somebody else in so they can handle the management side? And he said, when are we going to do our own? There has to be a branch. So why not just be us? Let's create it. Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's create our own. I'll be involved in it. Whatever it takes, we'll figure it out. We got to go pick up checks. We'll go pick up whatever it takes. Let's do it. And that's what we did. We created that. And we would not have done either of those by ourselves. We would have had to take that. We needed that confidence that you could lean on each other, that ally, to do that. You had to have that to really go to the next level. You can't be the top. You got to have somebody with you.
100%. Yep. No, it takes an army. The reason why the Allies won World War II is because they had more allies. Germany defeated all of Europe and took over Europe, but they allied up with more people and ended up winning back Europe. Otherwise, Germany had a stronger, more disciplined army. So it's not he who's the smartest sometimes, not who has the best equipment, resource, technology. It's he who has the most allies. So I tell people, you ain't going to outwork me because I got 26 partners that are just as high performance as me. So allies is a real thing. So this is great, guys. Appreciate you guys coming. Where can they follow you, James?
I'd say there's Facebook. That's James R. Toller. Add me, follow me. Love to put out stuff every day. Everything we're doing. Just try to be an inspiration. And talk a little bit about what we're doing. Help grow.
And you want to plug your business at all? King James Lending?
King James Lending. It's hard money lending. We do all kinds of stuff. I'm pretty flexible. I do commercial, residential developments. We've got a bunch of new builds that we're doing. So do a little all of it.
Land home packages?
Yeah, exactly.
I get into that. So we just bought 3 more lots last week. It was 3 more lots. We got a lot of lots. What I really like to do is buy houses and then we'll sell off the house but keep the lot. Or we might have 4 lots and then we'll fix up the home, sell the home off, and maybe we make $5,000, but then we'll hold 3 lots free and clear.
Free and clear.
That's the play right there. That's what we love doing. We got 30 lots free and clear, cash right now.
I love that.
That's something we've been adding on.
It's a land bank.
Land bank.
Nest egg.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, you can get
quite a bit of money
it.
now.
Yeah.
Probably
It's better than money in the bank.
$1 million. Probably $1.2 million, $1.3 million.
But that's better than cash in the bank.
Sure.
That's better than.
And every year it's going up.
Yeah. You put a line of credit on it if you need to pull it out. So where can they follow you?
Same place on Facebook, Derek Kelly. That's where most of our following is from. We haven't really tapped into, the Instagram and the TikToks. Probably missing out on a lot of opportunities from that we should be doing.
Would you say so?
Yeah. I hit every platform.
Yeah, we probably should be doing that. We probably could get. We have a lot of knowledge from this
You do.
stuff. It's a ton.
I wouldn't have y'all here if y'all didn't.
Yeah, so Facebook. That's where we do most of our stuff from. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, you heard it. Go follow them. These are great guys, good operators, good people, and good allies. So if you want to learn more about how to become an ally, go to alliesmastermind.com. If you need training, go to chrisrood.com or inbox me on social media at Real Estate Rood on Instagram, Chris Rood Entrepreneur on Facebook. Until then, I'll see you on the next Beyond the Skills podcast.